This video is an on-demand video. Our students in the academy has asked us to draw a comparison between mitosis and meiosis. So let's look, in a nutshell, let's look at the differences between mitosis and meiosis. If you find this video helpful, don't forget to share with a student who might also need videos like this to aid their academic studies. So the first we have here for mitosis, we have genetic stability. So in this type of cell division, the genetic material is stable. What does this mean? So in mitosis, we are having a cell. It could be the blood cell, it could be the liver cell, it could be any cell. So we have one cell, right, divide into two to form two new daughter cells. This cell, let's say this cell is 2n, right, and then divides into two. This is 2n and this is also 2n. So we're having two daughter cells that look exactly like the parent cell. Blood cells will reproduce blood cells. Liver cells will reproduce liver cells. So liver cell cannot reproduce blood cell. So when we talk about genetic stability, we are saying that in this kind of division, or in this type of division, in mitosis, the result of this division is genetically stable. Like, it is the same, it is constant, it does not look different. The result, the daughter cells look the same like the parent cell. That is number one. The second one we have to look at here is growth. And this growth occurs in multicellular organisms. So we know that in biology, cells multiply by division. Cells multiply by division. So the more cells divide, they keep multiplying. The more cells divide, they keep multiplying. So here in mitosis give rise to growth and development. Growth and development of new cells. So in mitosis, cells grow and develop. Cells grow and increase in number. So here we have formation of the tissues and organs. So because cells divide, they can form other cells, and these cells, in multiple of them, they can form other tissues and of course organs. So this is how our organs develop. This is how the tissues develop. Because of mitosis, our cells divide, they develop into more complex tissues and organs. So another thing here to note is mitosis gives rise to cell replacement. Number 3, cell replacement. So we look at the skin cell, for example. The skin cell, we also have the gut, the epithelial cell. So the skin cell, we see that sometimes the cells of the skin get replaced. So mitosis gives rise to this kind of cell division. So mitosis is while the skin cells can be replaced, either damaged cells or dying cells. So when these cells are replaced, mitosis is responsible. It's a type of cell division that gives rise to replacement of worn out or dead cells or even damaged cells. So the fourth one we need to look at here is asexual reproduction. Like I said, asexual reproduction. So in this type of reproduction, only one parent is enough to give rise to the new organisms. So some bacteria, and then even in some eukaryotic organisms like Hydra, they undergo asexual reproduction. So here we just, asexual reproduction involves just a single parent dividing into two to form two new daughter cells, and these two new daughter cells are identical to the parent organism. So that is asexual reproduction. So it is mitosis that gives rise to this type of cellular reproduction. And then we have the fifth one, which is the final one for this class. We have cellular diversity. Cellular diversity. So we have different kinds of cells being produced here. Production of different cell types and also that develop into complex tissues and organs. So mitosis gives rise to the production of different types of cells. Blood cells, tissue cells, liver cells. At every point in time, the body keeps producing these cells, keep making these cells. And then these cells are very important for the functioning of the entire organism. So mitosis gives rise to cellular diversity, meaning different types of cells are being produced in the body due to mitosis. Now let's look at meiosis. In meiosis, the first we need to look at here is genetic variation. We have genetic variation. Okay, so unlike in mitosis, we have genetic stability. Here we have genetic variation. The daughter cells are different. Remember, in meiosis, it produces two new daughter cells. So we have something like this, and then we have 1, 2, 3, 4. It produces 4 new daughter cells, and each of them are haploid, and they look differently from the parent cell. Right, so genetic variation means that the results of meiosis they are all different, they look all different, they vary from one another. But in mitosis, they are the same. Genetic stability, they maintain the genetic material. So the parents, the offspring here look exactly like the parents, but in meiosis, the offspring looks slightly different from the parent cell. So meiosis brings about genetic variation. Meiosis brings about genetic variation, while mitosis brings about genetic stability. The second we need to look at here is maintenance of chromosome number. Maintenance of chromosome number. So humans are 2n, for instance here. So if a father is 2n, mother is also 2n, and of course they have to give birth to a child which will also be 2n, right? So if the father donates all of the number of chromosomes here, which is 2n, and the mother donates all of the number of chromosomes here, this child will be 4n. And this child will have an abnormal number of chromosomes. So meiosis is a type of cell division that reduces the number of chromosomes of both parents in order for the offspring to have the normal or the correct number of chromosomes. So here, instead of bringing 2n, the father brings just n, brings just half of his chromosomes. The mother brings just half of her chromosomes, and then n plus n is 2n. So the child becomes 2n. So meiosis maintains the number of chromosomes. So it maintains the number of chromosomes in the offspring. So this means that meiosis happens in gametes. Meiosis happens in gametes, while mitosis happens in somatic cells. I think we need to include that. Mitosis occurs in somatic cells. Somatic cells. Cells that are not sex. They are non-sex cells. So the liver cell is a somatic cell. The blood is a somatic cell. While meiosis occur in gametes. Okay, so let's just include that. Meiosis occur in occur in gametes, formation of gametes. That is the sperm and the egg cells. So it maintains the number of chromosomes. We have just illustrated that. Let's look at the fourth one here. The fourth one is increased fitness. Okay, let's look at prevents genetic disorder first. Prevents genetic disorder. Prevents genetic disorder. Genetic disorders. How does meiosis do that? Recall that in meiosis, there's what we call crossing over. Okay, so here these two sister chromatids cross over, okay, during prophase, and during this crossing over, they exchange genetic material. So the new offspring that will be formed will be slightly different from the parents, right? So this new offspring is having a unique combination of genes, and this means that this new offspring will be slightly different from the parents and is having a new combination of genes, giving room for genetic variation or a new trend of characteristics. So it prevents genetic disorders. Supposing this parent cell, let's say this is the chromosome from the father and this chromosome from the mother. Supposing they were having a genetic disorder in their chromosomes, because this new organism that will be formed is a product of these parents, and because of this crossing over that brings about the unique combination of genes, this new offspring, here might the likelihood of having this genetic disorder will be minimal. So meiosis gives room for prevention of genetic disorders because the offspring will be unique, having a unique combination of genes due to crossing over during meiosis, that is in prophase. So let's look at the fifth one. The fifth one we should look at here is increased fitness. So it also increases fitness. Increased fitness. So how does that happen? Now, because we are having a unique combination, it increases the fitness of that individual to adapt to its environment. So this individual is having a new combination of genes that could enable that individual adapt in his or her environment. So that is it. It increases fitness, and of course the general biological well-being of that person. And then the fifth one, okay, the sixth, which is the last on our list here, is biological diversity. Biological diversity. Okay, so in mitosis we have cellular diversity, but in meiosis we have biological diversity. Meiosis gives rise to biological diversity. Meiosis is the reason why we all look different from our parents. Human beings are 99% the same, but just that 1% makes all of us different from one another. It is as a result of meiosis. So that 1% accounts for all of the biological differences between and among all of us. So the 99% that we look the same is a product of mitosis, because of course the human liver, the human heart, the human kidney, the human lungs, they all look the same. The one I have is the same with the one you have. So lungs, liver, kidney, heart, these all look the same. But I slightly look different from you. You slightly look different from me. That is because of meiosis. So it gives room for genetic biological diversity, while mitosis gives room for cellular diversity. So in mitosis, we are talking about diversity of cells. Different types of cells are being produced in this case, we are talking about humans. So in the body of this human person, different types of cells are being produced. But in meiosis, we are not talking about cellular diversity, we are talking about biological diversity. It gives rise to biological differences, while organisms look slightly different from their parents. So that's that for today. If you find this helpful, please don't forget to share with a student, and don't forget to follow us. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel. We'll continue to do videos like this that will aid your academic endeavor. Stay with us. Let's get that selfie.